Russia launched its single largest attack on Ukraine overnight since the war began over 3 years ago. Officials say more than 800 drones and decoys were launched, in addition to more than a dozen missiles. 9 of those missiles, 56 drones, they hit 37 locations across Ukraine. That's according to the government in Kyiv. It's left at least 2 people dead and 20 people injured. NewsNation's Robert Sherman is live in the Ukrainian capital with more. Robert, good morning from New York. What are you learning about this attack?
Yeah, Hena, I mean, for a country that comes under fire practically every night, this one is an outlier and a significant escalation that you've seen on the ground here. 800 drones, more than 800 of those Shahed drones that Russia puts in the air to try and overwhelm the air defense systems. And the result was the Kyiv skyline being pounded here in the early morning hours. You see some of these images that are coming out here of some of these fireballs lighting up the sky. But something important to note here, Hena, is that what we have traditionally seen in the midst of these large-scale attacks, they take place on the outskirts of Kyiv, closer to the suburbs. Not this time. Central downtown Kyiv being hit. That includes the Cabinet of Ministers office. That's where the Prime Minister works. There was actually a fire that broke out on one of the top-level floors there that crews had to work to put out here in the early morning hours. The latest count that we're getting from local officials is 2 people killed here in Kyiv, another 20 people injured. President Zelensky putting out this message here this morning saying, quote, "Such killings now, when real diplomacy could have already begun long ago, are a deliberate crime and a prolongation of the war. It has been repeatedly said in Washington that sanctions will follow a refusal to talk. We must implement everything that was agreed in Paris." President Zelensky standing by what he has said, that he believes that the only way to push Russia towards the negotiating table is through pressure. Economic sanctions, secondary tariffs. Right now, the ball is still in the White House's court. Hena?
I am curious. I'm thinking about the images from the Alaska summit, and it seems a bilateral meeting is not in the near future. What is Russia saying about where diplomatic talks go from here?
The Kremlin was asked about that, and what they've said is that there's no formal conversation that is scheduled between President Putin and President Trump yet, though they acknowledge that that could change at a moment's notice, and they are open to diplomacy. They have said that they would like to move closer and closer towards peace here in Ukraine. But from the Ukrainian perspective here, the words of Russia are not matching the actions, with last night being just the consummate example here. Adding to that, you hear some of the rhetoric coming from Russia. There's been a lot of these conversations about security guarantees in Ukraine after the war is over to maintain peace. Russia has said here in the previous few days that if there are any Western troops on the ground in Ukraine, they will view those as legitimate targets, echoing that loud, unmitigated threat to the West. Hena?
Absolutely. Robert Sherman, please continue to stay safe. Excellent reporting, as always, my friend, for you and your team. Thank you again.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.